Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Today's topic is going to be a very interesting one. It is, what are the best ways to invest if you are over 40? I made a video on this before, or rather a video on how to invest if you are younger, and I got a number of comments asking me what would be some of the best ways to invest if you happen to be over 40 years old. I assume this question also comes up if you are relatively close to or are starting to think about retirement. A lot of people want to simply know what to do as opposed to waiting for much longer. I'm going to give you a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things written down, so bear with me because I'm going to try my best to help you. The very first thing is to not panic. I've had this discussion before with other people who are over 40 and even over 50, and a lot of people feel at this point that it's kind of too late. There's not much time left. What am I supposed to do? If you're over 40, you still have a lot more time than you actually think. The thing to you have to put it into perspective to exactly that you have time. I'm really trying to stress that because a lot of people really don't get it. While you have time, I will tell you completely honestly, you do not have as much time to start investing or to create an investment portfolio as someone who is in their 20s or someone who's 18 or someone mathematically who's 30. You have to, now is the time to get hyper-focused and get incredibly prepared. And I tell you all of these things because I myself have known a number of people who have been in their 40s, who have once before inquired about investment advice, and I gave it to them, and it was more of this eye roll kind of thing as to, well, these things are simply too difficult, I can't do them. If you do these things, you will be far more prepared for retirement than anyone else that you probably know. There is, for some reason, a huge amount of people out there who have not prepared for retirement, don't have any money saved up, and they simply, I don't understand how you don't get that in 20-something years when it's time for you to retire, that you will be 60, you will be a lot older, and you probably will not want to work anymore. So it's time to get incredibly realistic about it. If you have not watched this channel before, I don't sugarcoat things. I tell you exactly how it is to make sure that you understand that this is exactly how it is. I'm not here to baby you and I'm not here to hold your hand throughout the entire process. I'm here to really tell you, you may have had a situation before where your life just simply wasn't in check, or before when you were younger, you decided that it was more fun to party and go on trips and travel and stuff like that. Well, now reality is here and now it's time for you to get yourself under control so that you can make sure that in 20 years you do retire while your other friends are still going to work. The first thing, besides don't panic, is to get your debt under control. This is a major topic. This is a major thing on this channel. You have to figure out ways immediately to pay off your debt. The amount of, and I've really realized that young people also tend to have a lot more debt than some older people, which I find completely perplexing. You're going to have to realize and find ways right now, and I'm going to go over a couple of ways as well, to pay off your debt and to cut your credit cards. We were all lied to when we were younger, all of us, that debt is the way to happiness, that debt is the way for you to be able to have instant gratification, that if you have debt, if you have a credit card and you want something and you need something and you have to have it, you go and buy it immediately regardless of what the interest rate is on your card. That's complete nonsense. And for those of you who may be younger who are listening to this, it is time to really understand that. The idea that you need debt to be able to either make money is a lie, or that you need debt to buy things that make you happy in that one current situation. I have friends who go to buy dresses, they go to buy shoes, they go to buy hats, clothes, cars, you name it, with debt. If you are currently in debt, you have to figure out a way to get it in check, or there are companies out there who can help you consolidate your debt or figure out ways for you to pay it off a lot easier, because you do not want to enter or try to enter retirement and you are still paying off $13,000, $14,000, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $38,000. That is not going to be your friend when you are trying to retire. You have to understand next your money going in and out. And I mention this because I didn't realize that this was an issue before. A lot of people have this problem where they don't pay attention to their finances in a way that They have no idea what's coming in. They may understand that they are getting a paycheck, but they don't understand and how quickly they have to pay rent, light, gas. They have to pay off their credit cards. They go to Starbucks. They have to buy new shoes. They have to buy all these different things. None of this money is calculated. And then you go to your bank account and you realize that your bank account is negative, or you only have $200. And I'm sure there are a couple of people here, I'm not pointing a finger at you, who have been in that situation before. You have to stop that immediately. This is something that I assumed a lot of other people who were in their late 30s and 40s, I thought that they would simply one day kind of get it under control. That's not exactly how it works. These habits stay with you. And I know people who are now in their 60s who have the exact same habits, and I've heard the discussion before. I don't have it. I can't buy it. I don't have enough money. So my bank account's almost empty. And I sit there sometimes really contemplating life and what it exactly means. You need to write down right now, immediately, and be as honest with yourself as possible. Don't write fake numbers. If you know that something pops into your head that you do very often, or if you think that you don't do it that often, still write it down. Like I said, I had a friend, she used to go to Starbucks 3 times a day, and I once calculated with her. I was like, that's around $18, 18 euros per day, and she was shocked. Lo and behold, and she wasn't making food at home either. She was eating out just about every other meal. She was eating breakfast at her job. She was also having lunch outside as well, and all this money really adds up very quickly, and this is all money that could be going to your retirement fund or for ways for you to be able to retire. Like, imagine 3 times a day, $18 over the course of a month and then over the course of a year. It adds up quite quickly. Write down your monthly expenses so that you understand what's going in and what's going out, and that you have a firmer grasp on your actual money. Simplest way I can say it. Another really interesting thing. These are all things that I've spoken with people about before, and I know are some of the most common mistakes and or issues that people have. A lot of people, for some reason, I'm not sure what, I'm sure everyone has their own reason behind all of this, is a lot of people have not put any money into a retirement account, a 401k. I don't know what it's called in your country. It's the exact same thing. For some reason, a lot of people in their 20s and 30s thought that they would never get older or that they would never have to retire. And a lot of people, even I know right now, don't put any money away for a retirement or a future fund. And I think that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Start asking your employer what kind of retirement funds your company offers. Some companies also even offer stock in the actual company. See if you can start acquiring those as well. They do have things where every single month, if you find it difficult to be able to manually take out $200 and put it into an investment thing, you may also be able to have them automatically take out the $200 from your paycheck and put that into the company's stock. Or you can also do automatic contributions to your 401k or to other things like that. These are interesting to look into simply because, one, you're also building up your investment retirement fund, which is kind of the goal of this entire situation. But the other part is a lot of these have, what's the word? You get a lot of tax breaks if you actually invest money into these retirement accounts. A lot of people don't know this. You either get money back at the end of the year, or rather when you're doing your taxes, or you have a lower tax rate because you've contributed to these things. And a lot of times if you max out these retirement accounts and you start trying to invest a little bit more, there's also other tax things as well that also favor you as well. So you are, in essence, rewarded for saving more for your future. A lot of people don't know about these tax breaks because people don't put money away for their future. And I'm not telling you, I mean, ideally, realistically, you should probably be putting a good chunk of change every single month away into an investment vehicle, what have you. I understand if you are not able or capable at the moment to put away 1,000 or 500 or even 200, start at 100. Start at 50. You have to start somewhere. You are still, even if you are just going to put away 50 per month over the next 20 years, hopefully you do more, you will have a lot more than you currently have now. That's the point to be made. What you're doing now at this very moment is going to help you in the future. A lot of people don't think about this and they simply once again think, I don't know what it is. If you can explain to me in the comment section why this happens, a lot of people simply don't think that they have to invest or think further ahead into the future. And it drives me kind of crazy because it's kind of all I think about. My entire idea for everything is to invest very heavily now so that I know in the next 5 years, I don't have to do anything at all. I'm already retired, if you want to say that, but even when I'm doing YouTube and stuff like that, it is in its own essence kind of like work. So I max out everything that I possibly can and buy as many investments as I possibly can so that I know mathematically within the next 5 years, I can delete the word work and job from my vocabulary. It's possible. This is going to be a more interesting one. You have to start making up for lost time, and I know that sounds difficult. However, there's an easy way that it can be done. Many people accumulated a lot of things in their 20s and 30s that they either don't use, that they either don't want, that they either have no need for. And these things are currently sitting around your house doing absolutely nothing. This is wasted money. And it goes even so far as I knew somebody before who had a lot of gold rings and diamond necklaces. And I discussed with her, I said, hey, have you thought about selling these? When was the last time you used these? It's been about a good 5, 6, 7 years, but if I go to a party, I wear these things. And I was like, wow, that's wonderful. How often do you go to a party? Maybe once or twice a year. So you just simply have around a good 10 to 15,000 in jewelry and all these other gold things just kind of laying around on the off chance that someone may potentially invite you to a party that's fancy enough to be able to actually wear these things, which at that point, I don't want to wear any diamonds or jewels to a party. I don't know these people. They might take my jewels away. Anyway, the entire point being, if you find that you have stuff around your house that you are not using, that you know you should have never purchased, or that may potentially be valuable. I'm not telling you to get rid of an heirloom. However, if you have stuff that you know should be sold, get rid of it. Start selling it. We spoke about this before. I have tons of other videos on this about creating an online business. Have a garage sale, have a boot sale. I don't care what it is, just get rid of all that stuff because you probably, the average person, if you look around your house, start adding up stuff, has anywhere between $4,000 to $6,000 worth of things in their house that can be sold that they no longer use. Do you know how far ahead your retirement and investment fund gets pushed forward if you add $4,000 to $6,000 to it? The numbers are kind of completely insane. How much stock you could buy, how many other things you could buy from a company is actually a little insane. You're making up for lost time. It's getting rid of the things that you bought years ago. You will not be able to acquire the same exact value that you got for it. As if you got it for 200 and you're able to sell it for 20, thank your lucky stars that you can even sell it for 20 and not 1. Get rid of it, sell it, put it into a bank account, put it somewhere until you really figure out exactly where you want to invest for the future. You are going to have to realize that this is a realistic situation. The talk is clicking for all of us. We will all continue to get older, and you are currently in a situation where you really have to hit it hard so that you can make sure. Sorry if that was loud on the microphone. I actually have no idea. I'll hear it once I've made the video, but it'll be like a anyway, the point is, yes, start selling all the extra stuff in your house that you do not have. Number 5, and this may be the most difficult for a lot of people simply because life, is you are going to have to learn how investing works. You're going to have to learn what stocks are, what mutual funds are, and maybe even what index funds are, simply because I find it advantageous and very good if people learn what they're going to be putting their money into before they simply do it. When people ask me, should I put money into Bitcoin? Should I put money into stocks? I go, learn what Bitcoin is, learn what stocks are, not joking, learn what dividends are, and also learn about the companies that you are thinking about putting money into. And when I talk to these people 2 or 3 weeks later, how'd the learning go? I haven't gotten to it. Stop wasting time and just do it. I don't understand the reason. And it's not even like, don't give me the excuse that you don't have any time. Everyone has time. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I don't care if it's 25 minutes. I don't care if it's whatever. If you find time when you're sitting on the toilet, when you have your tablet and that is your time to go learn stuff, then gosh darn it, use that time to look up what Bitcoin is. 5 minutes every single day adds up very, very fast at the end of a month. Sorry if that was gross. It's just completely, I mean, really. I've heard the excuse from so many people, I don't have the time, I don't have the so-and-so, I work all day. And then I make sure as the discussion goes on, I go, so what'd you do last night? Nothing. I was on YouTube. I watched a lot of Netflix. I was talking to a friend I haven't spoken to in like 3 days. And I was painting my nails, and then I was doing other stuff. I decided to make a cake, and I'm like, okay, just to make sure that I know that afterwards that they definitely did have time. We all have time. Unless you are literally working 18 hours a day, you fall onto the ground and go to sleep in your job, and then you wake up and you are automatically at work, so you start working again. We all have time. Even if it's something as simple as you taking the train, train, bus, metro, tram, Uber home, listen to a podcast, learn what these things are so you can figure out what you are most comfortable with putting your money into, because all investments are not made for everyone. A lot of people will feel more comfortable with other investments than they do with other investments, so that's kind of how that works. Number 6 is, this is a bit of another, it says invest as if you're still young. The idea is, when you're younger, you can be riskier with investments. A lot of people, when they get older, tend to be a lot more reserved when it comes to investments. So this is kind of a 50-50. I'm not telling you to put your stuff into investments that may potentially one day go to zero. It's more of a, just understand that you don't really have to hold back in all aspects of what you're trying to do. Don't assume that you can't create a new store or an online business because you're older than other people, that you can't create an eBay, that you can't create an Instagram, that you can't create a Shopify, that you can't create an Etsy. Anything that you're trying to create or do, don't assume that because of I've heard so many people, oh gosh, I'm 40 now. And it's like, well, you were 39 the day before. You're still completely fine. Even when you hit 50, technology and medicine. Have you seen that some people now are living to be 113 years old? Also, side note, do you want to be 113 years old still working? No, probably not. There are tons of documentaries out there. If you need some inspiration, click around on YouTube and type in like never be able to retire or you can find it. I've seen more than a few of people who are in their 80s and 90s who are still a-working. That's probably not where you want to be at all. I think the last thing kind of combines everything together. As far as investing as if you're still young, or investing with a younger mindset, if you kind of want to say that, I would recommend, and this is just a recommendation, this is my suggestion, this is not telling you exactly what you should be doing with your money. There are many potential opportunities right now happening with other assets that are riskier than other things. The prospect or the idea right now, this is a suggestion, is that most people say to put around 1% of your portfolio into something that's a little risque, if you will. It has the potential of either going to zero, or it has the potential of skyrocketing and making you more percentage-wise than you would with other investments. I would implore you, nay, I say it behooves you, to look into what Bitcoin is, and to start allocating a small portion of your money per month into Bitcoin. Simply because, as of right now, it is probably the riskiest asset that we have on the planet. However, the potential upside for it, Bitcoin has been around for 11 years. It is currently up by 9 million%. That is not a fake number. I'll wait for you to Google it. Type in Bitcoin 9 million% and you'll find it. It has outperformed every other asset ever. And it's been around for 11 years. The idea is that Bitcoin is potentially poised in the future over the next 10 to 20 years, poised to have either a 100x or a 1000x from where it currently is. I think there is not a moment that you should miss out on a potential jump like this. I would say something as far as, if you feel uncomfortable with it, but you are kind of interested in it, put $5, €5, £5 per month so that you have some type of an asset allocation into it. That is to say, if you are only putting $200 per month into other investments, put 5. I have written here 20, put 5. Try something very small, or any number that's comfortable for you, just to see where it goes. It's the idea that the riskiest part of your portfolio, many people do this for their portfolios. It could be anything that may be risky. They may even have a 1% allocation into stocks that may be extremely risky, but they have major upsides. do the exact same, because think of it this way. If you're putting 5 per month, that 5 is one less than a cup of coffee from Starbucks or anything else. The word isn't frugal. Something else you were buying that you shouldn't have been buying. That $5 would have gone to absolute nonsense. Why not potentially put it towards something that could make you 6 figures in the future? I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that I help. Don't assume that life is over because you are 40, in your 40s, over 40s, or even 50. You still have time. You just have to start right now. There are a multitude of things that you can do, many things you can get into that can help you build a portfolio of some sort. Don't be afraid to start, because if you're afraid to start, imagine me having this conversation with you again in 10 years. Do you want that? Probably not. If you do it now, you'll be a lot better off. It's not difficult. Just start it. If you, like I said, if you find allocating it yourself difficult, you can go to, I would recommend going, there's a website called Vanguard for mutual funds. They can take out money automatically from your bank account every single month, so you don't even have to think about it. This money is automatically going into markets automatically. The same exact thing. There are many cryptocurrency websites if you're trying to buy crypto, and having that $5 to $20 allocation per month, they can take it automatically from your account, so you don't even have to think about it, and you are still investing towards your future. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope I helped. If you have any questions, if you feel I missed anything, something that I missed out, something that you would also like me to talk about, please ask me in the comment section below. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.